Hey guys, this is Nick here again. Today we have a 2014 GMC Savannah 4.3 liter, and customer complaint is the oil leaks right around the oil filter area. Let's find out what's wrong with it. Let's raise it up and take a look underneath. Okay, let's have a look. All right. So, looks like the filters are all covered in oil. And you can see the source of the leak seems like it's coming from this area. And this guy is the oil filter adapter. And this oil cooling line looks fairly dry. So, you can see the darkness in here. That's all the oil seepage going upwards. But I'm pretty sure the source of the leak is sitting right in between here. So inside it, there's a gasket and O-ring in between this engine and the oil filter adapter. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna replace the gaskets and O-ring inside, and that should address the problem. First thing to do is always drain the oil and remove the filter first. So let's do that. 15 mil socket. Okay. And also check this the bolt. The gasket looks okay, so we can reuse it. Well, now it's time to remove the filter. I'll give it a quick wipe. And always use a filter wrench. Holy, who put it on? It's so tight there. Oh, fuck. Okay. Okay. Well, tell you what, I think the customer definitely thought the filter's not tight enough, so they over-tightened the filter. That was a pain in the ass to take it out. Ooh. Okay, so inside this housing, there are two of the bolts are inside, keeping the housing inward, inside the engine. So we just need to wait till the oil stops dripping, then we just clean it up, and we're gonna find it probably is a Torx, so we're gonna find the best socket or bits. Gonna try to remove those two bolts and just drop this whole fitting or adapter out. Then we're gonna look at the gaskets, see how bad they were. Well, my portable light just went out of battery, so I have to use this shop light, and it works out a little less convenient. But once I can find a place to hook it. Okay, so the next thing to do is put a plug back in and brake clean everything, the whole area, and just go from there. Okay. In. Put the rights back on. Just a snug is good. And get my brake cleans. Well, I'm spraying like the brake clean's free. If you want to see good result, you definitely have to use a lot of brake clean. Then we're gonna give it a wipe. Much better now. Still have a lot of residue there. Well, we can address that later. But right now, okay. See there's 2 bolts in there? Yeah, we're gonna have to remove those 2 bolts. Okay. I just figured out those are the T50 bits. So let's put that. Okay. It's a little hard to work with one hand. Okay. One loose. Let's try the other one. Oh, come on, come on. Oh, fuck. Well, I have to use both hands to do that. Uh-oh. Oh, crap. Oh. I got the first one already. I'm just getting the second one out. And here we go. That was the pretty long bolt, and it was a Torx bit. It's a T50. So now it should separate. Ooh. Here we go. Okay. Got more oil to come out. Here we go. That's the O-ring just dropped. Where did it go? Sorry, that was the gasket just dropped. So, and also it has the O-ring sits right inside of it on this groove. Set of it's a kit that we got from the Felflow, and it's probably for multiple different models, and they contain multiple gaskets and O-rings as there too. And one of them is the one that we needed. So let's prepare the surface, and then we're gonna open it up and compare to the one that we needed, and go from there. In comparison between the old and new. That's the pick I used to take out the old O-rings. It was a pain in the ass to take it out. I guess it's been sitting there for way too long, and it's, well, whatever the reason it was pretty sticky inside, which might be common, and just quite a fight to. You can see how thick that thing is. It was a deep groove, and this is the new one. It's pretty flexible. The older ones are actually a little brittle. It's like if you compress it, it doesn't come out very easily, but this one's very soft and squishy. And this guy can't really see anything wrong with it, so I'm guessing most likely the leak is coming from this O-ring. But since we already opened it, might as well just replacing both of it. Okay, the next thing to do is clean up or prepare the mating surface, and then we're gonna put them back again. Okay, I have cleaned up the surface on the top, which I actually run my fingers through it. I feel there was a small little build-up on the surface, and I run very light sandpaper around it and brake clean it and wipe with a shop rag, and now it feels much more smoother. And same as this guy, it feels much better. So I just very lightly touch up with the sandpaper and just brake clean a lot of it, and then blow with the shop air. This is my nozzle gun, was using to blow the debris out of the groove, because that's where the new O-ring is going to be sitting at. So the next thing to do would be I'll add a very light layer of the grease onto the new O-ring, and then put it into this groove, and then I'll add some very light thin layer of the grease on top of the surface here, and then put a new gasket on top of it, and then we're gonna put a bolt through it and bolt it up. This is what it looks like right now. I got a new gasket in there, and also the paper gasket sits on top of it. I could have moved it a little bit better location, but I tried it with the bolts. It was working before. Probably slide it. Don't move. Okay, so let's push it up, and I need both hands, so I'm not gonna record this procedure. Just literally stick your bolts Let's stick the bolts through it and just get the thread started. And because once the thread is started, those two holes gonna line up, so the paper gasket is not gonna move anywhere, or not too much, so it doesn't really matter. And yeah, I'll show you how this looks like afterwards. I have snagged the two of the bolts inside. Now is the time to get them torqued up. Okay, I got my small torque wrench. The spec says they're going to be 15 foot-pounds, which is a 180 inch-pounds. So I'm going to let's get it's an awkward angle to do things like that. Okay. Oh, fuck. Sorry for swearing, but it was not easy to do with one hand. Okay. One done. Second. Well, you can imagine. I'm not going to record the second one. Just torque both of them down to 15 foot-pounds or 180 inch-pounds, and then just put a filter on. Now it's time to put a filter on. This is the new filter. Well, I'm just getting a little bit of oil. Slightly coat the O-ring. Well, I need a bit more, so I dip my finger into the old oil. Some people say you should use a clean oil, but my opinion, old oil, clean oil, they're all just oil. The purpose is just to lubricate the surface, make it easier to get on and get off, and less chance of rip. So usually just a hand tight will be good enough. And well, I'm right-handed, so my left hand doesn't have the same grip, but I'll do my best. Okay, I think it's pretty tight. What's the last thing to do? Brake clean. Well, I think that this bottle is pretty much gone. Okay. I'm happy with it now. Well, you want to clean up as much as you can and make it look like never had a leak before, so in this way easier to detect if we fix the problem. What if the leak comes out again? Then it'll be easier to spot right there. Okay. All right. Okay, now I'm going to just lower the truck and fill up the oil. Just fill up the oil for the engine and double check the dipstick. Everything looks good. Let's start it up and check the underneath, see if it's still leaking or not. Well, because they have ladders on the top of the van, and in my head, I cannot go all the way up to the top. Okay, let's look at it underneath, see if it still leaks or not. Oh well, I didn't do a very good cleanup job. Still have a residue building in the bottom, so more brake cleaning required. But for the top, it looks like it's numb. It looks like it's pretty dry. Well, time would tell. But as far as right now, everything looks good. Okay, so I say I just need to spray more brake clean, clean up the bottom of the engine oil pan, and we're done. Okay, if you have any comments, please leave it below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and supporting the channel. Thank you. Bye.